My name is Ivy Whitlock, and today I am reading Dracula, and although it was originally written by Bram Stoker, I find much of his prose to be plodding, and while it is a classic, I don't find it enjoyable to read, and so I have performed a rewrite. It is not overly different from the original, but I have made a number of changes for flow that I hope you'll enjoy. Entry 1 from Jonathan Harker's journal, kept in shorthand. 3rd May, Bistritz. I left Munich at 8:35 in the evening on the 1st of May. We reached Vienna early the next morning, an hour late, but that seems to be the rhythm of travel eastward. Time stretches ever more thin as the rails unwind before me. Budapest was a brief vision through the train glass. Even that little glimpse left its mark, domes and bridges shimmering over the Danube's breadth, the scent of the city over the river, and smoke mingling with the sound of foreign speech. I felt even then the border between worlds, the west dissolving behind me, the east rising ahead with its own weight of memories much unknown to me. By nightfall we reached Klausenburg. I took a room at the Hotel Royale with its high ceilings, dim gaslight, and the faint scent of iron and polish. The dinner, or indeed what passed for it at first sight, was a local dish, bright with red pepper, fiery, dry, and oddly addictive. The waiter called it paprika Händel. I made a note to ask for the recipe for Mina. The spice left me thirsting, but it was a good thirst, the kind that reminds you that you're somewhere else experiencing something else. German served me well enough. I fear without it I'd have been reduced to gestures and smiles. Now, of course, it's polite enough, but there would be something missing. In London, before leaving, I'd spent long hours in the British Museum, poring over atlases and ethnographies, anything I could find about Transylvania. The name itself felt half myth. The region Dracula mentioned lay far to the east, where Transylvania, Moldavia, and Bukovina meet, folded deep within the Carpathians, a country barely mapped and certainly less understood. No charts showed the exact location of Castle Dracula, and there are no ordnance maps worth the name here, only rough outlines and speculative, perhaps almost artistic marks. Still, Bistritz, the post town he named, appeared in several volumes. I noted what I could. It may help later when I recount the journey to Mina. According to my studies, 4 people share this land. To the south, you'd find Saxons, with Wallachs among them, descendants of the Dacians, Magyars in the west, and Skellies in the east and north. The Count's letter places me among the latter, a proud people who claim to descend from Attila's Huns. Of course, the books differ on that point, but all seem to agree that superstition lingers here, much like mist lingers in the valleys. Every ancient terror of Europe seems to have pooled here in the Carpathian Arc, as if the mountains themselves were a net, catching the world's dreams and letting only reason drift away. I will have to ask the Count about local superstitions. certainly know the roots, if not the truths. I slept poorly, though the bed was good. I heard a dog howling the whole night, seemingly as though right beneath my window. Perhaps it was the paprika, or perhaps the strangeness of it all, but I drank every drop of water from my carafe, and still felt parched. Toward the morning, sleep finally found me, and almost at once the knock at my door broke it. Breakfast was hearty, more paprika, a maize porridge they called mamalaga, and an eggplant stuffed with meat, implatata, savory and rich. Another recipe for Mina. The train was to leave just before 8, so I hurried, arriving half an hour early, only to wait over an hour before the carriage moved. It seems the further east one travels, the less time obeys the clock. I wonder what it must be like in China. Chaos? Perhaps freedom. The day's journey carried us through unending beauty, a kind of wild symmetry between the rivers and hills. At times we passed fortressed towns clinging to ridges, like illustrations from illuminated manuscripts. Every station brought a crowd, faces new and unreadable yet familiar in their own way, a wall of sound of languages layered like sediment was hardly discerning to my ears. Some were dressed much like I'd expect from home, while others wore vivid, intricate garments that seemed out of place with the modern century. The women caught my eye from a distance, with their white sleeves and bright belts streaming with ribbons, though they appeared less graceful when near. The men were varied even more. Peasants with jackets and round hats, and others who seemed to belong to an entirely different world. They wore great white trousers, rough shirts, and broad leather belts studded with brass, black mustaches hanging thick over stern mouths. To me, they looked like brigands from a stage play, though locals assured me that they were quite harmless and, if anything, perhaps even docile. Twilight had deepened to near dark when we reached Bistritz, a town of both age and scars. Fires, sieges, famine, all had left their mark. The Borgo Pass lies just beyond, leading into Bukovina, and the place, as a whole, feels every inch to be a frontier. 5 years ago, fire ravaged the streets 5 times over. 2 centuries earlier, siege and starvation had killed 13,000 in 3 weeks. Walking upon the stones, it almost seems to me that they remember. Count Dracula had told me to stay at the Golden Crone Hotel, and there it was, just as described, old-fashioned and honest, a relic of the better kind from another time. It was here that they were expecting me. At the door, a stout woman in peasant dress, white blouse, double apron, bright with woven color, greeted me with a simple bow. "The Herr Englishman?" she asked. "Yes," I said, "Jonathan Harker." She smiled and relayed my name to an older man in shirt sleeves, who hurried away and returned at once with a sealed letter. The paper was thick, the hand firm and deliberate. It read, "My friend, welcome to the Carpathians. I am anxiously expecting you. Sleep well tonight. At 3 tomorrow, the diligence will start for Bukovina. A place on it is kept for you." At the Borgo Pass, my carriage will await you and bring you to me. I trust your journey from London has been happy, and that you will enjoy your stay in my beautiful land. Your friend, Dracula.